Shit, I must give this a topic. Damn it. Well, I'm early. I know I said 30 minutes, but I'm supposed to have a phone call in 30 minutes, so I'm going live now. So here we are. I'm going to give you a topic so that people know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about squirting. Say hi when you're here. If you have questions about this, put them in the comments and I'll answer. That was my husband probably hitting his thumb while working in the house. All right, so we're going to talk about squirting today and female ejaculation and all the fun shit that goes on with it. I'm going to dismantle some myths. I'm going to give some insight. I'm going to do all of the things that involve finishing for a woman, I guess. And that's kind of the fun thing. So we're going to talk about it. I'd love questions in the comments if you have any. Obviously, this is normally a sex coaching question, but I'm going to come live and talk about it anyway. So we're just going to do it. Again, if you have any questions about this, let me know, and I will do my best to answer what you have. All right, so good morning. All right, so we're just going to talk about it. In the post yesterday, we had in the group yesterday, we had a post that said, let's talk squirting, mainly how to prevent it. My orgasms have been intense lately, which is amazing, and now I have this madness to deal with. I realize some may like it, but I hate it. Is there any way to stop it? So, well, you can watch the replay, Taylor, later. I'm going to keep it up as long as Facebook doesn't take it down, I guess. So, of course, the thing here is, first we have to understand, I saw the comments, a lot of people were like, ooh, learn to love it. We are very much in the stage of, learn self-love, learn to accept yourself, learn to blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm obviously that person. That's obviously my motto in life. It's just learning to love yourself and accept it. But squirting is like sometimes shitty, like some people don't want to deal with a mess all the time. And that's not to say it's not the most wonderful, amazing feeling, that it's not great, that I don't enjoy it, whatever. But we also have to all admit it's messy. It can be problematic. And some partners don't like it. Obviously, they need to get over themselves, especially if you fucking love it, because, fuck them. But sometimes you just don't want it to always happen. You just don't. So we're going to talk about how to prevent it. We're going to talk about if you want to accept it, whatever. And we're going to talk about debunking some myths. I have 15 minutes to do all of this because I have a call at 9:30. And hopefully it's not a bullshit call because it is in mail. So we're going to see. But let's start with what female ejaculation is and the different ways of it and how your body decides that it happens. So, a lot of people, the biggest myth is that female ejaculation is pee. It can be. If you have a full bladder and go into sex and they're pushing down on your stomach or very much stimulating your bladder, you can definitely pee during sex. But guess what? You can also poop. Some people during the most intense orgasms that they have shit themselves. It happens. It's not really a problem. I mean, it's a problem, but it's not really a problem, but it happens. The reason this happens is because your body is so relaxed in that moment and your muscles just give that your body just kind of lets it all out. And that can happen. It doesn't happen very often. I think it's 3% of people report this ever happening to them. So maybe other people aren't reporting it, whatever, but it does happen. So on to ejaculation. So ejaculation can be, you can think it's pee. It's usually not. But for actually like squirting, it's not what you think. So when you're actually squirting from the female G-spot, my husband's working, it looks like cum. So it doesn't look like water. It doesn't look like a big bunch of fluid. It is actually like a creamier substance, milky, whatever. So it can be liquidy, but it's not like pee liquid, if that makes sense. It's more milky, it's more thick. It goes between those kind of substances. It looks a lot like male cum. So, if you are actually squirting from your G-spot by if it's that substance. If it is not that substance and it's more like pee and watery, I guess, not pee, but more pee, what's that word? Consistency. There we go. It's not going to actually be pee. Chances are you are gushing. There's nothing wrong with gushing. Gushing still comes from your urethra. It's still part of your body, but it is not pee. It does not have anything to do with like peeing. And it's not just like letting your urine like flow out of you. It's a different substance that builds up like inside of you during intense stimulation of your downstairs. It happens with your G-spot a lot because you're stimulating that and it's like creating all these muscles and contractions and build up and like pressure and all this stuff. And that stimulation through your G-spot creates like this buildup also in your urethra. And so you gush. As I said, that's what happens when it's a lot of fluid. So if you are releasing a lot of fluid, like a liter, like a lot, enough to soak your sheets, you're not squirting from your G-spot. There might be a little bit from your G-spot, a little bit in there, but you're probably gushing, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it's intensely satisfying to most people. It creates this very full feeling, and then when it's released, it's like this release of pressure. It's wonderful. Been there, done that. It's incredible. There's nothing wrong with it. It can be very stimulating. It can be very amazing. But if you don't want to soak your sheets every time, like, it can be problematic. Like, if it's 12 o'clock in the middle of the night and like I'm going for a midnight quickie, like I'm probably not going to want to soak my whole sheets and have to deal with cleaning it up and whatever else. Like, I'm just not, right? So you have to learn how to control those things. Easier said than done. I have like my notes up just so I know what to like touch on. But easier said than done, right? The biggest thing when it comes to squirting, whether you want to squirt from your G-spot or you're gushing or your whatever you're doing, the easiest way to prevent this, I guess, is to learn how to control your PC muscles, which is 90% of sexual advice. I mean, that people are going to give you that actually have to do with like your vagina, and in your vulva and all those muscles, is to practice PC muscles. Get Kegels, change your position, go more to your knees where you can feel your muscles more than laying down. Laying down, you're more likely to relax and to let them go, which can lead to more gushing or squirting. And so change your position, try being on your knees. You can feel your muscles a lot better when you're on your knees and clench them. Practice Kegels a lot. I practice Kegels all day, every day. Like, my vagina muscles are very strong. You can buy those eggs that like vibrate and stuff. They're super awesome. But by learning like your Kegel muscles, you can stop yourself from squirting. Like, I stop myself all the fucking time because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this mess. And even my husband's like, do you want to squirt? Like, are we doing this today? Like, are we doing this right now? I didn't know if you wanted to. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Or, not right now. I don't want to clean up. Like, we literally, it's like, I mean, another part of sex coaching is communication. But your partner needs to be on the same page as you. I guess that's actually the number one important thing. Is like your partner and you, if it's not self-play, needs to be on the same page. And so they should be able to feel when this is about to happen. or when it's building up, and you should be able to feel when it's building up. It's a pressure. And if you can't feel that yet, that's definitely something we need to work on with your PC muscles and Kegels, and just learning like the pressures that you feel. Like if you have to pee, that's a pressure. So you're full, like you feel like, oh, I gotta pee really bad. But during sex, you should feel pressures. And a lot of time people think that's like an oncoming orgasm, and it could be. But you also know what an oncoming orgasm usually feels like. And this should be a different pressure. I know for me it is. When I learned how to stimulate my G-spot and stimulate this, like my whole life changed. So like best orgasms I've ever had in my life. So, but not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants it. And they also don't want it 100% of the time. So the greatest thing about learning to control it is that you can decide when it happens. You can decide, I will say most of the time, because if you're just having one of those great sex moments, like sometimes you're in your head and you don't remember to like clench, whatever. So just work on that. Avoid pressure on your bladder. As I said, the position's really important. If he's like leaning over and has his weight pressed like right there while you're laying down, chances are like you're probably gonna let it all out, because that pressure is gonna be too much, not only in the way of like stimulation and sex, but also pressure of like pushing on it is going to make it happen. So being conscious, that's what I want. Being conscious of your position, of the weight and push and pressure that you're putting on that area. Changing around, as I said, on your knees. Even doggy style can be a really good one. Doggy style, especially because your body's downwards, and so it's like staying in also, but also the pressure is definitely off of that area. So doggy style on your knees, great ones. In doggy style, you can really pay attention to your Kegel muscles. Relax. I know that's kind of the opposite of what I'm saying, is like practice your PC muscles, whatever, but also relax your body. Because if you're not relaxed and you're stressed about the whole thing, number one, you're probably not going to have the best orgasm, right? You're going to be stressing about it, whatever. And I know when I stress about like finishing or coming, or like thinking that my husband's expecting me to squirt, like it becomes more about that than it does about actually enjoying it. So you just have to learn your way around that. I'm not telling you to accept it, because as I said, I think that it can be something that's annoying sometimes, but I'm also in learning to encourage you to maybe try to accept it once in a while. Because if you learn to, let's see if I can word this. I want to make this right. The more you understand how that feels, the more likely you are able to learn how to control it. So if you practice your PC muscles, do your Kegels, get like the learning of the pressure and your muscles in your, vagina and all of that stuff, and you're practicing that, you need to learn what it feels like to also let it go. And so if you're like, oh, that's what that feeling is, like that's when it's going to happen. So I need to know, like, that's when I need to practice my muscles. Like, that's when I need to clench them. That's when I need to hold them. That's when I need to do this. If you can learn what the feeling of letting go is, you can learn what the feeling of keeping it in is, I guess. It's all practice. And yeah, you're going to have moments where you literally soak the whole bed. It's going to happen. I'm not here to like be a magic, like fix it, because that's just not real life, right? If there was one thing I could tell you to just snap your fingers and never do it again, I guess I could. But I also don't feel like that's helpful, because there is nothing shameful in it. And if you, in the comments, Heather, who posted, said that her husband really enjoys it. She doesn't. So my question is, like, I also question, like, why don't you enjoy it? I want to learn. You think it's gross? That's cool. Hopefully this live teaches you why it's not gross, but also teaches you more about your body. I hope that we can take that and also have you experience it in a positive manner when you want to, because the feeling of that should be incredible. It should be something that like is a whole different like sense of release and orgasm that you've probably never had before. And as you said in your thing that your orgasms have been more intense. It's probably because you're just like stimulating that G-spot more, which is why this is starting to happen, is like you've found how to find your G-spot. If you just keep stimulating that G-spot, like you're probably going to keep squirting. But if we learn our PC muscles to learn how to stop it from happening, you can decide when to have that incredible orgasm, when to have such a big, ridiculous, intense release instead of, I don't know, like normal orgasms are great. You know, like I can have a wonderful, great orgasm regular, but like this G-spot orgasm is like chef's kiss, like 10 times better. But as I said, I understand and I don't want it constantly. But I also feel like when you overdo it, it becomes a lot. So watch yourself. I'm trying to feel like making sure I hit everything. Is there anything I said I was going to talk about that I didn't talk about yet? Because I do this and I have ADHD. So tell me what I haven't hit on. I do this. It sucks. It's fine. Oh, well, she also said that I think she said maybe she's going through like menopause. She's older and something. I feel like I've read her posts before. So like, that's also a lot of changes in your body, a lot of changes to how you're feeling, about how your vagina reacts to things, how do your muscles react, what your orgasms are like. The fact that she's very into it right now is super incredible. Menopause can have actually the opposite effect if she's going through that. I don't remember if she said, but it can have the opposite effect and it can create, more issues in the fact of no desire. So thumbs up for that part. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure I answer all your questions on this, and talk about everything I wanted to talk to you about. If you want to avoid more fluid, go to the bathroom before. Obviously, as everybody commented in the other one, like making sure you go to the bathroom before just makes you feel more comfortable. I know for me, like if we get started and I'm literally like 2 minutes in, I'll be like, nope, gotta stop. I gotta go pee. Like I have to pee. I just feel like the stimulation is more of like I need to pee than it is like a sexual one, I guess. And that's the thing about learning your muscles and learning feelings. So if you allow these orgasms to happen for a little while, learn them, get a towel, whatever, and just accept them. And even if that includes self-sex, like, and just taking time to, learn your body by yourself instead of with your partner. There's so much, no matter what, there's pressure, like in partnered sex, and you're so focused on them and the experience that you're not really focused on the feelings down there. So I definitely recommend self-sex to learn to feel that and control that. The more, I'm literally telling you, go masturbate every day. Highly recommend to learn your muscles. I don't usually realize how far I've came in this journey until I'm like, oh, well, like I know when I have to, like that I need to pee beforehand, or what pressure is pee pressure, what pressure is like orgasm pressure, what pressure is G-spot pressure. Like I've taken the time. I also have sex way too much. So like taking the time to like learn your body in that sense, and just go like masturbate all the time. I don't know. And learning those feelings will severely help you with your orgasms, but also help you control this part if you want to control this part. So yeah. And a great toy to learn your G-spot like stimulation. So if you're like, well, we're clearly like stimulating that spot and clearly building up these things during sex, so I need to be able to do that by myself during self-sex to learn how to control it. I have recommendations, so I will write that blog really quick today and I will post it to help you do that. But it is 9:29 and I do, definitely be patient. Don't give up. And as I said, just try it every day. I mean, what's the problem with like self-love every day? I mean, it's fine. I've always thought about like having a bob, but when I was like 15, I think, or 16, I cut my hair short like this, and Kylie told me my face was the wrong shape to have short hair, and so I've never cut my hair short again. But I'm always like, ooh, this is super cute. It's fine. Anyway, I have to make this phone call, and I'm gonna let you guys go. Bye, guys.